What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all having a great Starfield launch day. This is your friendly neighborhood meta coming at you with fellow co-host for one of my fellow co-hosts for Controller Chronicles, Blinded Bro. How you doing today, man?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Exciting day today.
Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah. You just hear the excitement in our voices. We're just so
Oh
excited
man.
and not tired from everything else. Um, in all seriousness, though, yes, this is a day for excitement. A new Bethesda game has been unleashed upon the masses, and boy, oh boy, I think it actually was a great idea to do this closer to the launch because have the takes been coming in, and how the cancer I've been it's a cancer that I know so well and yet it's been in remission for so many years. and
Oh boy.
we're just having a
It's
flare up.
it's growing. It's a growing tumor, man. It's been
Golly, but
growing.
again, we were in a remission, and now it's back in bloom.
Oh man.
Every time Bethesda releases a game, there's a controversy. I don't know why, but there
Yeah.
is.
I feel like this one has been well, we did have Fallout 76,
76,
but
76 was,
yeah, that one
that
was
was a,
massive.
ironically, that was a nuclear level, and it just kept
Yeah.
getting worse for them. Like, I think 76, as far as launches go, Fallout 76 is one of Bethesda's, if not its worst launch for a game
Yeah.
ever. Like,
Definitely.
it was just bad on all fronts. But at least this one is more contained, and the arguments made are so thin. I wish I had the clip that I'm thinking of in my head, but it's like there's a scene from one of the Mickey Mouse shorts where like it's Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and they're cutting this bread, and because they're so poor, they only have that one loaf. They're like cutting the bread like you can see through it, like you can see through the bread. Like that's how thin these arguments are
Yeah.
for Starfield. Like we've
So
argued
some of it is not even pertaining to the game itself.
we've argued about we've yelled and complained. We've seen people yell and complain about loading screen, not loading screens, well,
Yeah.
loading screens and menus. We've seen people
Menus, yeah.
complain about pronouns, like
Yeah. Yeah.
3 seconds of your life to just choose something that is irrelevant. So yeah, it's been an interesting discourse to say the least. And also I do want to say right now, RJ was supposed to join us. Unfortunately, our boy is unavailable right now. He is down with the sickness, and
Yeah. Oh
and
man.
we wish him a speedy recovery. Hopefully he'll be back soon because we do have some awesome stuff planned. Anyhow, the show must go on. So let's, welcome to the first of hopefully, a periodic thing. We may make this a periodic video series for the channel. Welcome to the first StarLog, where we do a deep dive into our experiences playing with Starfield. And honestly, with this first one, I think the discourse is actually could be a part of the conversation if we wanted it to be.
Right. I mean, we could start there too, and then
Let's
go
just
into
start
the
with
game.
that. Yeah, because I'll be honest, as far as I'll say this. I'll go ahead and just say this first. Bro, how long? We both got the game early. How many hours have you put into Starfield so far?
So I've put in, well, on the Xbox it says 22, but in the game it says 20. So yeah, I'm not even that deep, even though that does sound like a lot of hours, because we got it on Thursday. So, but yeah, I have other friends that are like 30 plus hours into the game, so I'm a little bit behind compared to some other people.
And
I know that's kind of ironic, but yeah.
well, and I'm even behind you because I have
Right.
almost half of your playtime. I've only played for about 10 hours. Life has been very, very busy for me, and I just don't have the time to sit down and commit myself to a Bethesda game. Sad, but it's the truth.
Yeah, damn.
However, I have played some, and I will be talking about my small experiences with the game. And of course, Bro is going to talk about his experiences. But first, let's talk about some of this backlash, man. This ridiculousness. It's got to the point where even
Right.
Donkey is starting dunking on people for this game. And he, by the way, Donkey is known to make fun of Bethesda games. He's known to make fun of the bugs. But even he's like, this discourse is just so laughable that
Yeah. It seems forced, in my opinion. Some of it seems forced, at least.
some of this is absolutely forced because the grifters, of course, have found their way in, and if I had my way, I would kick them straight out. But
Right.
let's start with the one that I try to avoid. I've tried to avoid this, but it just got the attention that he wanted. The fucking pronoun thing is so stupid. It's so dumb, but that's the point. That's the point of it all. It's supposed to be dumb.
The thing is, I think what's more funny is just the reaction. It's like this is what the internet is, and this is what a lot of people make their money off of. But it's glorified, crazy reactions.
It's rage farming.
Yeah, that's what that is, and it's so sad. It really is sad. What's his name? Heel versus Babyface.
Heel versus Babyface.
All right. I don't know. He's getting a lot of money. He's still streaming the game. I looked and saw. I don't know how. Like you aren't embarrassed a little bit. Because, all his buddies will support him, whatever that side. But honestly, like, it's such a small part. Like, the game just asks you that because, first off, there's no voice acting. So, in the text, characters are going to refer to you by your gender, right? So, I don't know why that was such a big deal.
It's a big deal to a lot of people because, again, we as a species do not like change. And right now we are undergoing I'm going to call it this is going to probably be, it's a good thing YouTube doesn't do community notes. Otherwise this would probably get a community note. But
you say that and then they implement it.
Oh my God, I'd hate that so much. Although I'll be honest, the community notes are one of the better parts of Elon taking over X. Is like because
someone's going behind his back.
They're ratioing him. Part. Yeah, they're ratioing him.
It's crazy.
But no, so we're going through this change in society where, and this was this is nowhere near as crazy as crazy as it was in the mid 2010s. It did get to the point of ludicrousness, I do believe, in the mid 2010s, but now things have calmed down a bit, at least on the progressive side. And there, we have he, she, or he, him, she, her, they, them. Yeah. And there are other pronouns, but those are the main three now. And it's not even a gender thing. That's how it is for literacy. Like that's a literary thing. Like that's
how we communicate.
That is an English language. So you're getting mad at the English language, essentially.
It's. This is what I mean. This is what has happened
right now in school. Sorry.
Yeah, it is stupid. It is really stupid. But this is what the conditioning is. This is what these people farm off of. So, I just don't understand why that one thing you need to I know why it's money, but I don't know why everybody else is making a big deal about it.
So I saw this one whole thread where this one person's like, I work at a game company in Sweden and there's this person that forces us to say the correct pronouns she's gonna throw a fit and call you a bigoted or whatever. Which I do understand, you don't want false accusations on your name, and I get that. But other than that, that's if it's and again, I want to say this. I know non-binary. I know some non-binary people. Mm-hmm. Some do not care. Some do care. It's just it's just one of those things.
But no, I find it hilarious though, because if someone revert to them as she, let's just say they were taking their pronouns out of context or whatever, or I don't know how you would say, misgendering them, I guess, right? They would lose their mind, right? Just like from a like, hey, no, I'm a dude, right? Or I'm a woman, like. So I just think it's weird. It's weird.
It is completely weird. But again, like Heel is a well-known grifter. He is a well-known
Yeah.
rage farmer. He is a part of the
He's not even a
fandom,
good one at that.
the fandom menace. No, but God, he really. And I love they're calling him soy. Was it soy Jack? They're
Yeah,
calling
they
him
made a soy jack of him.
But but he already made a video with like him posing behind Trump's mugshot saying like canceled for giving opinions on the internet. And
Yeah,
someone said
no,
it
no one
perfectly.
was canceling him.
But he said
They
well,
always do that.
this was the perfect, and that, like he said, this person said you were not canceled. You actually have to be someone of
Status.
you have to be someone of status or someone that's actually well known to be canceled. Basically,
I
like, bro, you're not
did
important.
watch that video. I did watch that video, and I thought it was really funny that his retort is, "Well, it's my opinion." No one. Okay, listen. No one was giving you. People were giving you shit because of your opinion, but I think why it went viral was because your reaction was so funny
Overblown.
and overblown that like people are just like, "Why do you care
Like
this much?"
It's the same thing as if like someone asked, like a game asked you for your name. You want my name? Like
this is like having a meltdown over spilt milk, right?
He's crying
It's
over
so
milk.
right. It's so kind of insane where you gotta. I think personally it's money. This is why he has his reactions, but he was streaming, so I'm just thinking, this is a crazy reaction to have while you're streaming. It makes you look so unhinged. Like
that's the point. But that's like again, people that watch him, he represents how I feel about this stuff, and it's like, well, then I'm sorry,
yeah.
if you feel that, as you actually feel that strongly about this, I'm gonna say it, you're a bigot.
Or,
I'm sorry, like if
you need to do something else, man. That's not healthy at all, in my opinion.
All of the help, around the world, help.com, like seek a therapist, seek something. I wish I could kind of go a bit more.
And he kept playing anyway too, which I thought was funny.
He calms back down. I love Donkey's like, all right, let's play more Starfield. After that big rant. All right, let's play more Starfield now.
And he had the nerve to say too that he has all these problems, and you're like, you're still playing the game, buddy. If you really have a problem with the game,
you'll quit.
Chances are you're gonna try. Yeah, this is not a movie, right?
And just so everyone knows, like rage farming. I'm gonna actually read the definition real quick. The tactic of intentionally provoking political opponents, typically by posting inflammatory content on social media in order to elicit angry responses and thus high engagement or widespread exposure for the original poster. He is rage farming.
Yeah.
And goddamn, it worked. Because of course it did.
Yeah, it did work.
Because like I have my own personal issue with people reacting to stuff like this, right? And even us talking about it, right? Because I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I am giving him the attention he wants, but
it's still funny. It's still funny.
Every time, though, do we really need to give these people the attention every time? Because I look at it like a metaphorical candle. Like we keep giving that candle, that flame, oxygen to keep going, keep burning brighter and hotter. If we just did not give them the oxygen, that flame would be snuffed out.
I do agree with that. And I think this one though, like it was just so explosive where it was funny, but there's other cases where I think we don't need to get into that, but there's other cases where I feel like people should have just ignored it, because sometimes it's just a simple thing like a thumbnail and people are going nuts over, and you're like, relax, like just ignore it. It's stupid, and you move on with your day. You don't need to have
every time one of his friends,
reaction to it.
Every time every time he or one of his friends makes a thumbnail, what did you expect? They are bigots. We know this. It's all a game. Just leave them alone.
They're also designing it to get those people involved. So I mean, you're giving them views. Yeah,
you're giving them what they want. Please stop doing this. And on that, I think that covers that part. Now let's go on to another stupid controversy.
Yeah, get all the controversies out of the way.
The menu.
Or you mean
the start menu.
the start menu? Yes.
The guy even went on. You said he went on Dave Jaffe's podcast and said he did that
Yes.
just
Yes.
for the attention. The same reason.
Yeah, so I did watch that interview that David Jaffe had. They talked a lot more than just the menu. Uh, but in other words, this what his whole tweet was, it was constructed in a way to get views and clicks, right? Like the word that he used, which I escapes me, was like physiology. I can't even. It's an old term. It's even kind of it's a bit of a controversial word, right? Because it's about the way people look and determining like their characteristics, right? Like if someone looks really ugly, then they might be a criminal, right? So it's fucked up, right? Let's keep it real. But that whole tweet was just constructed in a way to get clicks and views, to get attention, and he was just making up a theory. It wasn't even like what he was saying like he actually believed, which is weird. But and then he had this intense reaction where it's like, no, I have to defend the tweet, even though
It
it's
was a
some
joke.
bullshit that you made up. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a joke. It was him.
Or
Him like what do you call like? I can't even say the word. Like him, just like kind of like thinking out loud, essentially, right? That's what that tweet was. It wasn't trolling, but he was thinking out loud, and he knew it would be controversial, and so that's why he put it out there to get views, right? Because he's a kind of a Elon simp, if you will, right? So
he's
yeah,
an
based on the
Elon
interview,
stick, if you will.
he's kind of a simp,
He's
right?
a former
Um,
dev. You know that, right? He's like
He's
a
not. He's
former.
not. He is a former dev, but he's mostly a producer and kind of like a manager, right? Because
Yeah.
his experience were kind of like looking at a game and canceling it. He does do dev things, right? Like programming and making the game itself, but he's more on the management level, right? So his experience, I mean, like I'll give the guy credit there. Like it was interesting some of the things he was talking about on David Jaffe's interview, but the whole start menu thing was it's bull crap, right? Everybody called it out as bull crap. He acknowledges it as bull crap, but he's one of those people who he just has a massive ego, so he can't admit that he was wrong, but he was wrong, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and when you see the start menu, I mean, the whole aesthetic of the game, and I think we talked about this before, it does look basic, it does look bland. I'll give it that, right? But it is supposed to look like that, right? Like that's what they're kind of intending. Now, I think it's kind of funny that that controversy happened because one of the problems that we have with the game is the UI design, right?
Yes.
But I don't think what he was saying means that oh they didn't care, right? I think it's just bad UI design. That's what it is. It's not like oh like the UI is bad and everything else in the game is bad. No, that's not the case, right? So I don't know. It's just a stupid controversy. A lot of stupid controversies. Like there was also another guy, King Thrash. He's kind of
Oh
like a
my god.
PlayStation.
Simp.
I mean, he's a bit of a yeah, he's a bit of a fanboy, and so he's posts a lot of critical videos about the game, and he had a tweet about why can't you explore Saturn, right? And people were kind of dunking on
It's
him,
a
saying, "Oh
gas
well,
giant
it's
dumbass.
a gay." Yeah, he did post a video, and I did watch the video, so I'll give him this credit. He posted that for views, obviously, but his
Yeah.
explanation of he's like, okay, yeah, if you can't land on it you could kind of like fly through it or do things right because and his point was we're right now we don't really know what the reaction would be if you were to just fly around on Saturn, right? You can't land on it, but you could maybe fly in it. I don't know about that. It seems like when your ship explode, I don't know, right? I don't know all the physics and the science behind that.
Yeah.
uh but I mean, I'll give him that point. Like, yeah, maybe that would have been interesting to do something with those planets. Even if you can't land on it, you can find another way to observe it. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of again, PlayStation is better, Xbox sucks, and this game looks like shit. And there's that's his take, right? So
Yeah.
you get to make of that what you will, right? Um, but yeah, I don't agree with that, right? I don't care if the game is not going to look like Horizon right? Or The Last of Us 2. I'm not expecting it to look like those games. It's a Bethesda game. There's an expectation of going into the game, and I think a lot of people have these high expectations, like, oh, it needs to be like Rockstar, it needs to be like this developer. No, I don't really agree with that, right? Let the devs make what they want to make. If it's good, it's good. If there's problems with it, then there's problems with it. But like some people, I think overblown these all these problems with Starfield before they even played the game, right?
Yeah,
And now there's just like this massive hate where it's like, okay, this is not Fallout 76. The game's not broken. You can play the game. It's functional. There's not even like crazy insane performance dips on consoles. So, yes, it's 30 FPS, but the
for
game is
for
still
for
playable.
for, for console,
Right, for consoles, right? But on PC, you could do whatever you want.
full
And I noticed
60.
too that the people who were talking about the pronoun stuff, they are starting to say as an excuse to refund the game, oh, the performance is bad. That's a lie. That's a bullcrap lie. There's a lot of people with high-end rigs that are getting good performance,
Bro,
and these
yeah,
people are
the PC that I have, when I went to Best Buy to grab this thing, I said I want something that can play Starfield without issue. Like I want
right,
this. I don't want a very big beast, but I do want a beast of a PC that can play. Starfield, Spider-Man. I do have Spider-Man Remastered on my Steam, so Spider-Man Remastered.
right.
These high-end games. I want to be able to play these. So, and he gave me that. And yeah, Starfield. I'm playing on PC. I'm playing on Steam. Braille, you're playing on Xbox Series S.
Yes,
Yeah. So, and I think RJ's playing on
on
the
the
either the
X.
S on the X.
Yeah, he's
So
playing on the X.
yeah. So we're playing not all three versions, but we're all playing. I'm playing a different version than they are.
Then yeah,
The 60 is the 60 is
it looks
buttery.
good. Yeah, it looks pretty smooth.
The 60 is butter, and I love it. Uh, so of course we're not going to say spoilers for the actual game or anything. However, let's do that. What did you think? What did you think of? How far would you say the intro to Starfield is? Like, it's not just the tutorial or whatever there is of a tutorial.
Well, there is the tutorial. I think it probably, if you played it just straight through, it's maybe like an hour and 30 minutes until they let you off the hook. So it's not that long. But if you're trying to get acquainted with the systems, because I always take longer to get adjusted to everything. I don't know. It's just how my brain works, right? Um, and I try to like experiment. And I'm doing a lot of scavenging, and in that first in the tutorial, you, not to get ahead of myself, but like there's a part where you're doing a lot of exploring, and you can kind of read up on some lore things that is going to be important in the game. I'm sure most people probably skipped over that, but there's a lot of important elements in the first part of the tutorial. But yeah, I thought the tutorial element, I mean, it's a Bethesda tutorial, right? It is what it is.
It's a Bethesda tutorial.
Yeah.
It's gonna do what it's gonna do. And I do agree though with something that I saw where this game is definitely for more hardcore Bethesda fans over new people. Like this is kind of like in a way a thank you game. Like thank you for staying true to us. Thank you for staying fans of ours. Here's this brand new IP that we've poured everything we have into to make it like part of our trinity of games, so that we can can now, instead of just going back and forth between Fallout and Skyrim, we can do Fallout, Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield, Skyrim, or
well. Speaking to that, Todd Howard did do an interview with, I think it was Lex Freeman. You know, you might know him. But yeah, they did an interview, and Todd Howard did reveal that they have a lot of other genres that they want to do. And he didn't want to go in detail because he's not sure if those games will ever happen, or, you know, I mean, he kind of wants to keep some mystery, right?
Well, he wants to keep some mystery, but also, and this is, I think, the more important thing he's trying to do. He's trying to keep those expectations in check.
Right. I mean, he's like in his mid 50s. I
He's
think.
controlling he's making sure that rumor mill is not churning out any bullshit.
Right. I mean, I know the next game is going to be Elder Scrolls.
It's in
It's
early
pretty
development.
obvious. Right, right. We'll see because now there's rumors of they're going to revamp another engine, even though they just did that. So we'll see what they do with that. But yeah, moving on, I guess.
Me here just sitting here me here waiting patiently for Fallout 5, guys. Just gonna be sitting here
Yeah,
waiting for a while. You Elder Scroll fans can finally shut the fuck up. You're getting a new game,
yeah.
you bastards.
I mean, I think we're probably gonna get. I mean, well, we'll see with Fallout,
I
man. I don't even want to get into that. There's so much talking points that you can get into.
I got you. But yeah, so what I'm getting at though with the intro is I think would you said that without spoiling it, am I still in the intro after where I told you where I'm at last night? Am I still in the intro?
Well, based on what you told me last night, you finished the intro.
Okay, so yeah, so
Right.
I
That's
would
the
say
tutorial area.
yeah, the tutorial. I'm out of the tutorial after
Right.
10 hours.
I mean that's not really a spoiler. Like we could talk about it because they teach you some of the systems.
Yeah, so like I do want to like dive into it. So
Right.
like first off, what do you think of I want to talk about this really because I haven't done it that much, but I died doing this. And I rarely die in Bethesda games because I make sure that I am very tactful with my decisions because I know that they matter.
Right.
Even like determining if you're gonna go across the canyon from the left or the right matters because Bethesda's gonna put some bullshit in there, and that's how. Even though this wasn't a Bethesda game, that's why I stopped playing New Vegas.
Oh man,
I made the wrong call and chose to go through Deathclaw Alley.
Yeah, it's just absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get to is, what did you think of the flying? How the ship controls the mechanics, or like the fly mechanics, how it shoots, all that stuff. Because I died on a mission by the snake cult, and
Okay.
and it's
The House of Varun. That's what their name is.
But yeah, Sarah was like, "Oh, we need to be sneaky." I'm like, "Got it." And I'm going as slow as I can while also trying to make up some time, because I'm going slow, but I'm not going super slow. And they still detected me, and I had to dogfight them, and I died.
Yeah, that one. I mean, yeah, you have to kind of go a little bit slow, but I mean that is kind of normal in the beginning of the game, like because I'm, even though 20 hours, like nowhere near super advanced, but like the ship flying. I mean, I was telling my friend, like, I feel like when you first start off in that tutorial, it doesn't even feel like you're really moving all that much, and it's very disorienting because you have like this 360 limit, right? It's not like you're actually flying a plane. It's kind of like most space shooters, right? But there is this kind of slowness to it, and this sort of like there's not a lot of like you're not going fast based on the ship that you're giving in the beginning. Um, and I don't know. I'm not like too hot on it. It feels a little bit weird. Like and I haven't used it all that much, and I'm trying to find a better ship on top of that too. So I'm gonna say right now that's not my favorite part of the game.
That
Even
may be the
playing it
other
in first
issue is
person.
that
Yeah.
the ship you get at the start. Oh my god, it's not made for fighting dogfights. It's really not.
Right.
And
That's the part that's annoying.
Yeah, it is because I was able to survive the first like dogfights with the pirates, but as soon as I tackled those, I'm just gonna call them the snake cult because I'm not gonna remember that.
Yeah, House of Varun.
I'm not remembering.
We'll get into that.
the house of.
I mean, I'm gonna remember it because it's so far. That's my favorite part of the game. But yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that it's just, somehow the snake wielding Christians found a way into space. They speak in tongues.
They're more like a crazy cult, but yeah. Well, we'll explain that in the spoiler part, I guess. But yeah.
If we I don't know if we're gonna do one, but if we do one, then we can talk about that. Like, because I'll be honest, I don't even know that much about them. So
right.
Like I do kind of want to save that for myself. because it seems like you haven't encountered them more than I have in your playthrough. So yeah,
Yeah.
but if they're your favorite part of the game, then I'm gonna keep my eye on them because
Well, I think they
yeah.
have the more interesting story of the game so far, at least. There's
Well,
yeah.
well, let's do this. Let's talk about I don't think this is a spoiler. Let's talk about the perk system.
Right, yeah. That's another new mechanic.
So, do you want me to run off, like not run off, but like like run off the like what perks we both have, or are you? I mean, you want to talk about what perks we chose, or
Yeah, we could talk about that.
okay? So
Yeah.
I'm looking up right now the and it's loading. Oh, damn it!
Because you told me yesterday what is it class? I forget what it's called.
Hold on. It's wait, class.
Yeah. The class is tied to your perks at the beginning. They give you 3 perks.
Yeah. I'm looking those up right now. And also they have the classes as well. No, they're not tied to them. I decided to pick ones that would fit with what I chose.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And yeah. So, because I just because I wanna try to be as in character as I possibly can.
Right. Which is hard. Which is hard for this game at least.
And I'm like, it's an RPG game. The first part of that is role playing. Like,
right.
It's a
but I think the thing
game.
is with the role playing game, especially the role playing games, the Western ones that we've played so far, I feel like we're so already acquainted with the world. Even something like Cyberpunk, right? Even though that's technically a new IP, it's already existed before, so you know some of the lore going into it.
Right, but Starfield is a wholly new game.
Right. It's a new world and stuff. So it is kind of hard to adjust yourself because you don't know
The lore.
which factions are going to play to your side, right? Um which is interesting because that plays into the main story. And probably the people watching this have heard this whole debate about whether you should rush through the story or not. And that's going to be up to you to decide, really.
Although you
but yeah.
recommended that I do not do that.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on if you want to play to your character, right? Then play to your character and do the side quests that fit your character. But if you are like, okay, I like the main story and I want to see where it goes, right? Then be aware that you might as well just do the main story, and then you'll understand at the ending, okay, now you could kind of go back and do things maybe differently, right? Now you have like a different point of view, and so you can, maybe you want to go off and do a side quest that's more aligned with a bounty hunter, right? Things like that. So just keep that aware.
I chose I did play a little bit of copycat and followed RJ's example and chose the scoundrel.
Right.
However, RJ and I may both have chosen the scoundrel, but that doesn't mean our playthroughs are going to be identical. He may choose to make his scoundrel more lighthearted than mine and more of a goody two shoes. I don't know. Me, I'm going to kind of be a little bit of both because I like being a little bit of both, in all honesty. There's so like, for example, and I can't even mention the side quest, can I?
Yeah, because if it's a spoiler, just anything in the beginning.
It's like the first few side quests you can do in New Atlantis.
Which would be
like
because I didn't do any new New Atlantis quests.
Like getting the contraband from lockup.
Right, I didn't do any of that. Yeah.
Oh well, then I did. I'll just say this: like for my playthrough, let's do this. Let's talk about like what we did first for our playthroughs. when I started my playthrough, I was like, okay, my mindset was, okay, I am a lovable scoundrel and I want to have a reputation. I kind of wanted to be a bit of a mixed reputation, depending on who I talk to. Some like me, some don't like me. But in the end, I made those choices because it benefited me. So, that's how I'm approaching this character, which I named. I named my character Val Remington. It's a very Western name, but I'm going for that lovable scamp vibe. So think of it like a mixture of Val Kilmer's performance as Doc Holliday meets Vash the Stampede from Trigun meets the coolness of Han Solo. And Malcolm Reynolds, the captain of Serenity in Firefly, basically. Like we're combining all of those characters into a lovable scamp of a character. That's my guy. And so, I did some side quests. I joined the New Atlantis police force.
Right.
I got some contraband for a bartender to make some drinks, and I get free drinks now. That's cool. I did some interviews in the slums for this reporter. And I also told my side of the story for what happens in the opening for the reporter. So I'm making connections right now on New Atlantis while also joining, Constellation and going down the main story.
Right.
But and the skills that I chose, I wish I could just pull it up in front of me, but I don't want to load up the entire game to do that. I think it was I spliced my DNA with alien DNA. I'm wanted, and I'm from
the traits.
Yeah, the traits I'm talking about, not the skills, the traits. Hold on, let me do that because I typed in the wrong thing. Starfield traits. There we go. Yeah, so I'm from my character was raised on Neon, which is like the slum. It's not a slum. The way I describe it is it's like the lower half of Coruscant or Night City. It's like that. It's a planet. If Night City was a planet, that's what it would be. I think that's a fair comparison.
Right.
And so here we go. Mine were alien DNA. So you volunteered for a controversial experiment that combines alien and human DNA. As a result, you start with increased health and oxygen, but healing and food items aren't as effective. I also decided to go with, like I said, wanted. So someone put a price on your head, and word has spread. Occasionally, armed mercenaries will show up and try to kill you, but being cornered gives you an edge. When your health is low, you do extra damage. And then I chose Neon Street Rat. You grew up on the mean streets of Neon. You gain access to special dialogue options and better rewards for submissions on Neon. Crime bounty by other factions greatly increased. Can't be combined with any other faction allegiance trait. So yeah, I did that mostly for the dialogue choices because Bethesda games, I think, and Bray will definitely agree with me on this. Bethesda games, the dialogue is one of the best things that Bethesda games have to offer is the dialogue trees. So going back and talking to a character multiple times just to get every version of the dialogue is just fantastic.
Right.
So which ones did you choose for your character, Braille?
So my background, I was calling it class, it's called background. I picked Ronin. I wish I went with file not found because I kind of realized that the background is more tied into the perk system. And so the thing is, for me, the role playing is more based on how I play, right? And so because I'm more I use a lot of weapons, mostly shotguns, and I'm going to be boost jumping a lot, and I do a lot of scavenging and looking for things, because I'm reading a lot of notes, and there's a lot of recordings that you got to listen to. So that's how I mostly play, and so I definitely, based on how the game opens up background and traits, if you really are looking at the backgrounds and traits and you're like, I don't like this, then for the background, don't what's it called, file not found, and then for traits, don't select any traits, because the traits I have I do like an empath, because I'm very I do like talking with my my characters and seeing what's up with them, and and getting like self-esteem boosts and things like that. And that helps me in combat too. What else traits do I have? Yeah, empath, hero worship, which is kind of funny. I wanted to try that out
Oh my
with the
god, you
adoring
chose the
fan.
one that's like a reference to one of
Yeah,
the Elder Scroll games.
right, right. And you get that guy, and it's a quest and stuff. I mean, it's funny. I don't want to kill him, but it's really funny what the guy does to you and how he treats you. And then I also do task. I did Taskmaster, which yeah, I guess the if your crew is trained in a certain ship system, that system will automatically repair itself. So yeah, I did that just in case because I wasn't sure about the how the ship is going to operate and because you're going to be if you're in a heated battle, you're going to get damaged really quickly.
Yes, as I
Um,
learned very
yeah,
fast.
yeah. So you need really good shields. But the thing is, in this game, you're going to make a lot of compromises to how you build your ship. I haven't really built out my ship completely. My ship, I
Yeah,
should say. Um,
I haven't even started it.
yeah, yeah. It's first off, it's a lot. And it kind of goes into my problems with the game. Uh, and you could kind of like if you're on PC, you're definitely gonna be enjoying a lot of the mods because it's gonna actually refine the game a little bit. Even though I think the game is a refinement on Fallout 4 in terms of the systems or the mechanics that they give you, right? And I know we talked about the perk system, but the perk system in Fallout 4, once you level up and you get a point, you could just spend it, right?
Yeah,
So it's kind of lawless in the sense that you could spend whatever you want if you have all these points. But in Starfield, you really have to pick and choose, right? Because if you're like, okay, I'm want to invest into healing myself, right? I forget what the perk is called. Let me open it up and tell you. But for example, in that case, you want to heal a lot and you invest in that perk, you have to be constantly healing, right? In order to rank up your perk, right? So there's a challenge tied to your perk system, right? So this makes it a little bit more strategic and you want to be careful because if you're not doing that or action a lot, it's not going to be worth investing the perk, right? Into that perk. So, those are things to like consider. Yeah, the perk I was talking about is called medicine, for example, right? So in order for the challenge for that one, you need to be healing like 20 times, right? In order to rank up, because there's ranks, and you have 4 ranks, and the fourth one is the highest, and you get, whatever it is the perk is tied to, right? You're gonna get a lot more benefits and probably more damage if you're like weapons if the perk is like weapon oriented. But yeah, I do like that system. It's definitely better than Fallout 4. And it makes it a little bit more engaging in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, like the
It's a lot. It's a
I
lot, but yeah.
miss for actual like shooting combat. I miss that so much. I love that.
Eh,
Just shows you how much I. That just shows you how dependent I was on that. Like it. It just makes those. Like I would always start when there was a big when there was like going to be a big encounter. Like I was gonna have to fight off against a lot of enemies and use a lot of ammo. I would start off
mhm,
my attack with a VATS to probably one of the more the ones that I like, the ones that carried the the Fat Man launchers. I was just like,
right, right.
nope, I'm taking care of you first because you are a actual threat. And so now I'm gonna have to be actually like good with a sniper rifle instead of just relying on
Yeah.
that.
Right, right. Which I mean, personally, for me, I don't mind. But yeah, I did use VATS in the same way for Fallout 4 because Fallout
Uh,
4, the shooting is better than 3 and New Vegas, right?
yeah.
So,
And what do you
but
think of the
yeah,
shooting in Starfield? Is it better than 4?
it is better than 4 because 4 was already leagues above. Like it's obviously better than 3 in New Vegas because I think they got id Software to work on it. But surprisingly, id Software didn't work on the gunplay for Starfield. Which is
Huh.
surprising because the gunplay I think is a lot more smoother. Even with the 30 FPS, I feel like there's some weight in how the gun feels, right? And I was even using a sniper, and the sniper is, I mean, like you could do a bullet drop, right? So you could shoot people at a distance, and if you line it up, the bullet will drop, right? So I'm like, okay, those are things I do like, because sometimes some games don't have a bullet drop. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the physics. They didn't program it, but
Oh no.
things like that I appreciate, and the way that the gun holds. I do think I'm still like, because I'm kind of like finicky, so I had to put up my sensitivity, because I noticed like sometimes like I wasn't like moving fast enough. The aim wasn't fast enough for me. But overall, I feel like it is an improvement. I just think most people won't see it very early in the game because there's not a lot of weapons so far that you're like picking off of people. It's usually the same stuff, and it's usually garbage weapons too. Like they have low damage. Um, but yeah, overall, I still think I like the gunplay. It's definitely an improvement. So yeah.
I agree. It is an improvement. I always loved, and this is in Starfield as well, and I'm happy that it is because I love being able to mod the weapons and just
Right.
go make them the most powerful things this side of the Mason Dixon and Fallout, and now it's gonna be this side of the galaxy. Because if I'm being if my character is a lovable scoundrel, he's got to have a nice pistol, and
Right.
with the mods themselves, like the mods, like they're gonna add like. God, like I just mentioned, like Vash's Stampede and Han Solo, like Han's Blaster is going to be in the game at some point. Maybe Vash's
Yeah, people are
revolver would
already
be.
making the Millennium Falcon.
I love it. I love it. Oh, and we need to probably. I don't know why you said when you said Millennium Falcon, this made me bring this up, but for the ships, this is the thing we talked about last night. When you're building your ship, you need to be careful when you choose new pieces because it will change the interior of the ship.
Yeah. Yes,
And if you like the way your ship looks a certain way, then you may need to just either find a piece that has that same interior, or but you don't even really know what the interior.
Yeah, I
looks
don't
like.
really know. I don't really know just yet, but yeah, a friend was pointing that out to me where it was kind of confusing. Like the interior of another location changed when he put in a different part, so he was like confused that the game did that. Because it's like it wasn't like he changed out that part, so why would the interior change? But yeah, there's a lot of jankiness with the shipbuilding. Like I said, I haven't gone in detail yet, and that's just because trying to build your ship and I mean, it takes credits. Sometimes you need materials, and I know you were mentioning weapon modding. All of those things, I feel like because of the storage capacity of what you have on you and your ship, it makes it very limiting to doing a lot of customization and the modding so far, because it's like you either have to pick and choose, right? If you're going to build and you're going to mod, then that's going to be your focus, and so you can't really do a lot of missions, right? But so far I'm more like, okay, I want to explore and get involved with the lore and do the missions, and so that's not my main priority right now, right? So I mean, you got to kind of pick and choose.
Right. So one of the perks that I saw, you did say your perks, correct?
Yeah, I did say my the
Okay.
perks I gave an example of a perk that I
Yeah,
have, yeah, which was
so
medicine.
Taskmaster was one of them. Occasionally, if you have a crew
Oh, the
trained,
traits. The
yeah, the
traits, yeah.
traits, the traits. Yeah, so
Yeah,
occasionally, if you have a
empath.
crew,
Yeah.
if you have crew trained in certain ship system, that system will automatically repair itself to full health whenever it's damaged below 50%. However, all crew costs twice as much to hire.
Right.
That's Jesus God. And then of course, where is it? Hero worship. You earn the attention of an annoying adoring fan who will show up randomly and jabber at you insistently. On the plus side, he'll join your ship's crew and give you gifts. In my opinion, that is not worth it.
He's not that annoying. I don't know what happened. Well, I think I unassigned him, so I don't know where he is. And my ship is pretty small, so some people like spawn in and out. That's what I've noticed. If there's a lot of people in your ship, but I heard there was a quest tied to him, so I was like, oh, I'm going to just leave him. And also too, which was funny. Okay, So the way that you're supposed to be introduced to him didn't happen to me. So what happened instead was I was going on a mission. I go in my ship and oh shit, who the fuck is this motherfucker in the ship? I'm like
He just
confused.
shows up in your ship. I'm your number
Yeah.
one fan.
So
I'm
he
your
didn't
number
run
one
up to me.
fan.
He just appeared in my ship and I was like talking to him like this is my first interaction with him. And I was like, how the fuck did you get on my ship? Because I'm like,
Bro, he's like misery. You're about to get misery up in here.
yeah, it was just like, bruh, like,
Oh my
how did you even
God.
find my ship? Like, what the hell? Like, you didn't even
Well,
interact with me.
there is
But yeah,
one.
that was funny.
There is one that I saw that is tied to those damn snake people. Serpent's Embrace. You grew up worshiping the great serpent. Grav jumping provides a temporary boost to health and oxygen, but health and oxygen are lowered if you don't continue jumping regularly, like an addiction.
Mhm.
So you have to like keep jumping through space. But what I was kind of hoping for that it doesn't say here at least is when you encounter other serpents or other people that worship the great serpent,
Right.
like does it unlock special dialogue? Because again, the dialogue in these games are what I really care about.
I think it does, from what I heard. But the thing is, with that house, the House of Varun,
Yeah.
and this is what I mean. Like, I kind of wish we could kind of talk about it because the House of Varun are technically not in the game. The enemies that you encountered are zealots, right? So they're not actually members. They're sort of just like,
A rogue,
they believe
a splinter
it,
faction, a splinter cell.
right? Yeah, they believe the cause. They're part of the cult, quote unquote, but they're really not, right? The cult, and this is as far as I'll go in terms of spoilers. They are missing, right? And that's why it's interesting to me. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a companion who I really like in the game, that is tied to the cult, and so she has a
Yeah.
background with them, and I actually like interacting with her because I think she is a well written character. So there is that. I like the companions. I actually like all the people in Constellation. They're really cool and fun characters, and I think they're a lot more relatable once you get to know them. To be honest, I think the companions just in that group that you get are way better than even Fallout 4. And there's a couple of characters I like in Fallout 4, like Nick Valentine or Hancock or I always forget the other guy, the guy with the railroad, but
Yeah.
yeah, like those characters had like fun personalities and they had a lot of interesting backstory. But here there's a lot of interesting backstory, right? Where you kind of
Yeah.
have to dig into it and the characters will tell you. And it keeps going on and on, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this because I was listening to you and I'm looking forward to getting to know that snake cult more now. It's gonna be very interesting. Back I'll read this. So of course and I will say this, folks, there is ways to remove any Starfield trait can be removed, but exactly how you do it is different from each trait. So for example, my wanted, I found that I could there's a bounty hunter hanging around this bar, and she said that she would remove my bounty for 3,000 credits. And then underneath that is one of Braille's hero worship. You can talk to him and tell him to beat it. Of course, killing him is another option. Nobody would judge you. What was funny is that PC Gamer but note, PC Gamer Guide's editor Lauren Atkins says she would judge you, actually.
That's funny, oh man.
Yeah. But like so oh yeah, so
But yeah, you can remove the traits. Yes.
Yeah, you can. And like the ones that show here are Dream Home, Kid Stuff, Freestar Collective Settler, Terra Firma, Wanted, Were Hero Worshipped. Which Kid Stuff is like this is the first time a protagonist has its parents. You can like have parents. Like
yeah, that one. Yeah, that one I was like debating on whether I wanted to. I did see some people on Twitter. I forget the guy's name, but he writes for the Washington Post. But he was like kind of like cheating the game and getting a lot of money I was like, and based on some of those perks where you have family, right? So like, I was like, oh damn, man, that would have actually helped out in terms of like getting money. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, this one you have to really be cautious of what you pick in terms of your background and traits, which I think is definitely improvement because that was one of the criticism of Fallout 4, right? There wasn't a lot of role playing elements, um, even though I mean there
It's a
still
role playing
is.
game.
Yeah, I mean I get what people are trying to say, right? It's very limited, right? It's more kind of like based on how you play for Fallout 4. Um, and it doesn't really factor so much into the story elements or even the side quests. So, yeah, I can kind of see that point, even though I do like Fallout 4. Um, but yeah, but then there's the other system that I really like, which is the persuasion system. Uh,
Okay, yeah,
I
because
know you were telling me, yeah,
God, man, like it's just it's if you're if you now in Fallout 4 and in other previous games, all you had to
right,
do was have certain skills attached, and you could get special dialogue, and that would convince them to let you do it.
right.
Or
It
if you
was a
didn't have the
speech
stats,
check,
yeah, it was a speech check, and if you
yeah,
didn't have the stats high enough, then you failed. It
yeah,
was
you
a
failed it, or you
they
couldn't
made
do
it.
it regardless, yeah,
I'm gonna just say it. It was a very black and white system, and I loved it for being that simplistic.
mm.
In Starfield, though, they're like, "Hey, what if we just did this, but worse?" I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
but like,
I mean, yeah, you don't like it. For me, I personally like it. I think it's probably the funnest mechanic in the game
well,
when it pops up.
I hate to do this to you. It's the most fun mechanic. This is what happens when you get me into an English class. I'm gonna,
Oh man,
but anyway, um, I'm gonna say this: if the old system was black and white, this one is like a shade of gray. Like it's wanting you to
right, right,
earn. It's wanting you to earn that persuasion. Like we're not just gonna let you convince this guy. Like you have to actually be good at convincing him that he should give you
right.
the information you need instead of paying him. Like the example I gave, or I'm not gonna say exactly all the details, but there's a bar. You go into this bar and you're trying to get this information from a character about another character for the story mission. And he's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, the guy had a tab. You gonna pay it?" And you can either just pay it. You can get Sarah to talk to him, or you can persuade him. And I told Braille, I'm gonna try to
Right.
persuade him because I have this skill. I want to strengthen it. But it's just that if you fail the persuasion, you have to reload the save and try again. And I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't want to do that because it's just a waste of like it is a waste of I don't have to reload, but I want to get the persuasion. I want to,
Right.
be
But
successful.
you get you. I mean, in the beginning, yeah, you could save, but I think once you understand, like, you have to be very. You have to listen to them, and that's
Yeah.
why I like the mechanic because
You have to be careful with what you
it's
choose.
about
I get it.
how understanding people's words, right, and like how
It's like
they're
actually
saying
you
it.
have to actually listen to the conversation
Yeah.
instead of just for those people that would skim it and then just push um
Right. If
convince.
someone, because there was an example in a quest where it was sort of like you're developing a product for something, and so the person was coming off very passive aggressive, right? And
Yeah.
so you kind of have to like walk through and point out that they're being passive aggressive, and then kind of like convince them, hey, we should do this other thing instead. And so you play into what they want to hear, and that's why I like it. It's just like you get to actually see the writing come alive based on how what you say to them, right? Um,
Yeah.
which I think is better for a persuasion system because doing a speech check I think is kind of lame, right? Because you're just investing into a perk, and oh, okay, now you invested into it, and now you can pass it. But let's say so, because this game is it's or in past Fallout games, right? Because I'm mostly talking about Fallout,
Right.
it's an open world game, right? So you could go wherever, right? And so if you go into some, deep part of the map and you don't have a high persuasion to convince someone to do something, then you're kind of like, well, I'll have to get back to this, right? So it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. I would
Yeah.
rather just fail it outright based on my own skill, right? Of not being able to
Yeah,
determine
and
what they're saying, but yeah.
I don't hate this mechanic. I just it caught me off guard. I'm like, wait, I have to actually
Right.
earn like I actually felt so entitled. I was like, wait, I have to earn his persuasion. Like
Right.
I
Right.
can't just be given it by a perk. Because one of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
favorite
There's
perks,
a yeah.
one of my favorite perks, what in Fallout is Lady Killer, because like I don't know, I just think the female dialogue in those games is fun, but
Mm,
but also like it just unlocks unique dialogue. And again, like as I've said multiple times, it is the dialogue choices in Bethesda games that are that make those games fun. And the same thing can be said with
right.
Obsidian and the Outer Worlds. Like again, I almost have had I just focused a bit more on uh my persuasion in that game, I could have defeated the final boss without raising a gun. And I
Mm,
would have loved that. It would have been hilarious. It's just like I did all this, I killed all these people, did all these things, and we just talked it out in the end.
right.
All
Right.
those people died for nothing. That's the joke to me. Like that's the punchline. It said all these people died for nothing, and that is funny in it to an extent.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of. There's so many different mechanics and so much to talk about with
Right.
just the
Those are the
opening of,
base. Yeah. Those are the basic mechanics of the game.
and like and there's still just so much to talk about. Like the bit of side quest that I did do, while not like the end all be all, were still cool. Like I helped an
Hmm.
ambassador. I went to the embassy and helped this ambassador get through the very bigoted security at New Atlantis. Um,
Right.
and just like stuff like that, like just it's the small stuff. I'm building that reputation. I'm building like people are getting to know my name out in New
Hmm.
Atlantis, and they will later in the gospel. The one I'm looking forward to doing is going to collect the debts for the bank. That's going to be very
Hmm.
interesting.
Right. Yeah. That's probably gonna be fun.
I'm going to be a debt collector.
Oh man.
And he did say, like, by the way, if you make a deal with any of these people that you're supposed to collect from, I'll never do business with you again. So I'm like, ooh, which means it has to be
Mm.
really worth it to not break this. Like,
Right. Right.
it's the game, as I say, like, can you hold out? Can you be true and finish this mission to the end, or will one of these, shiny briefcases full of credits or whatever persuade you to not bring in the collection?
Right.
Or just to not, collect from them. Anyway, yeah, and again, this, there's still so much to do. We may do more of these StarLogs in the future. I don't know exactly when. We again, we're only a 10-hour difference in gameplay.
Right.
I'm 9.2 hours, and Braille's 20, close to 20 hours, or not, or around
Mhm.
20 hours.
Well,
So
past 20 hours, but yeah.
little past 20 hours. So
Yeah.
like the question of if we did another one of these would be, when do we do that, and do we talk spoilers by that point? Because not only will time have passed, but we're gonna probably want to talk about spoilers because it's just gonna
Right.
be so
Right.
much cool shit in the game to talk about. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other non-spoilery stuff.
Well, I guess we can go into maybe the some of the criticism, because I did make a tweet about this.
Yeah, if
And it
you
may
wanna
have been came across harsh. I don't know,
came
but
across harsh.
yeah,
You harsh?
yeah, I'm always harsh.
You
But
say harsh. You say harsh. I say direct. But
yeah, direct, direct.
listen, and this is why I think we work so well, is that I don't beat around the bush either. I
I'm the
try not to
straight
beat around the
man.
bush. And I'm a straight man too. Like, I don't bullshit. I like to just say what I'm thinking, and if feelings are hurt, oh well, then I'm sorry, but not really, because I said it the way I
Right.
said it on purpose. So
I always say this. Yes, I'm critical, but like I can still like stuff, right? I just think
I'm
it's more
critical, but
interesting
I
though.
still like stuff.
Yeah, I have to like preface
I
that
need
'cause
that on
it's
a shirt.
right. But like there is some stuff, and these are the minutia. These are the things that I guess some people can ignore. Other people will just be frustrated like hell, right? And that's like the UI, the quote unquote menu hopping. This is
Oh
what
my
I will
god, yeah,
call
the
it.
menu. Yeah, let's talk about that. The menu was just
Right.
awful.
Right, because in this game, and this has been another controversy, a lot of people had this expectation that, oh, it's a space game, so you're going to be flying around to different planets. It's going to be like No Man's Sky, right? But realistically, flying in space is more to get to a destination that's very close, or for space battles in a particular area, right? Not to say you can't travel to planets, but it's going to take you very long, right? I think one person tested it out. I forget her name, but she used to work for IGN. Um, she flew to one planet and it took her like 7 hours, right? Because the thing is, a lot of the game is going to be fast traveling. You're going to be fast traveling to different places, going in and out, right, of menus, and looking at maps. And so a lot of people, they were kind of like disappointed. They were kind of frustrated, and they were like, "Oh, I just want to fly around and stuff." But the thing is, I at first I was kind of like, "Oh wow, this is actually very overwhelming that you have to go into these menus and press, to fast travel." There is a way to not do that, right? You just look at the pinpoint on the map and then just press X and then you'll flash travel to it. So you don't need to use a
Yeah,
menu, right? But it still feels like you're not really playing the game, if that makes sense. It just feels like you're constantly fast traveling. You're not really going anywhere in your ship, right? Um, which we'll see. I'm still, like, of course, we're still early in the game, so who knows? You may be able in a mission to fly to travel to a planet, and it may take you some time, but I don't know. You don't really want to do that, right? It takes way too long. So,
yeah.
uh,
I
yeah,
tried both ways. I tried both ways, and you were right. Like, it would have taken me so long just to get to the other planet. I'm like, I'm fast traveling. Fuck this. I'm not.
yeah.
I don't
It's
have time
not
for
it's
this.
not worth it. Like once you're on the planet and stuff, and I guess that leads into somewhere else. Another criticism is even though you're menu hopping and you're looking at maps, when you're actually on a planet, I feel like the map is really bad. It doesn't specify where things
Well,
are.
you had yeah, you had legitimate problems with the
Yeah.
map.
Yes, because they don't tell you. You kind of actually have to, if you go to a planet with a city, explore the city so you can figure out where things are, right? Because if
Yeah,
you don't, the game is not going to tell you, right? You have to look in the game, right? Go around and look around the city and find, okay, here's the doctor, here's a weapon shop, and I don't know, it makes things a little bit hard, right? Because um, actually, I don't even want to say the city name because it might be a spoiler. But like, there's a city that you go to, and it's not really like colorful, right? You don't really know where things are because everything looks the same,
are you talking
and
about on
so
Mars?
it's not Mars. No, you
Okay,
didn't get to the city yet.
okay.
Um, you see in another mission you will, but yeah, it was just like, okay, this looks. Where are things? The signs were kind of like not visible, or they were kind of like, okay, what does this name even mean? So you have to go into it and look. And that was kind of like my problem, where it's like, why not just have a detailed map for the city, or do a map system where it's kind of like, once you visited that location, you can now see, okay, this is what it looks like on the map, right? Kind of like what I guess Tears of the Kingdom did with
Yeah,
the depths, right? Um, I don't know. I just don't like the planet map. It just bothers me. The star system map and the yeah, I guess the star system maps, the two of them, where you could actually see the one star system and then you could see the all the different star systems. It's fine, but then what I noticed too, when you see all of the star systems, they're kind of represented by the star on the map, and you're like, oh snap!
yeah.
Sometimes there could be two star systems in one, and the game kind of doesn't indicate that. It's like, okay, one star system is bright, but it doesn't have two, while another one is bright and it has two. And so you're like, how do I determine? You have to literally just click on it to see, okay, this is two star systems, right?
Yeah.
And I just didn't like that. I like the star system, the way it looks, the UI of it should have been streamlined. It should have been a little bit more clear and organized. And that's the problem with the UI. The UI in general is just so unorganized. It's a
It's a
lot of
mess.
you. It's a mess. Yeah, it is a mess, right? It's not. It's not clean or tidy and concise where everything is. You could just see everything, or you can just press a button and like someone had a better UI design, right? And it kind of looked like Cyberpunk. It reminded me of Cyberpunk.
What's
Um,
crazy is that like
yeah,
there's even that mod out right now that it looks better than like I even showed you the mod that someone made
right,
for the game looks better than the actual like release product. Like what even?
right. Yeah, I know. It's insane that people, and I was telling you behind the scenes, I was like, they're the person who made the Sky UI for Skyrim, which Todd Howard, by the way, said he uses that. So Bethesda has in the past hired modders and they helped with the game, but they didn't hire this guy with the UI, right? I don't understand. The UI is bad. I think it. Listen, I know people are going to depend on modders, but I feel like Bethesda should patch the UI. It's not good. Like it is one of the worst UIs as of recently. It is so bad. Um, and because you're going to be changing weapons, you're going to be hotkeying certain items, right? Like your med
Yeah.
packs and things like that, and specific guns. Like it's just such a mess to use, right? Like you can't hotkey everything. You're eventually gonna have to go in your inventory, and so it's like, why did you design it like this? Like it's such an important feature of the game. It is frustrating, and another thing too is, and I've seen people mention this. Not everybody has mentioned this, but I think the game should have had land vehicles. I don't know why Bethesda is so against vehicles. It seems really weird. Um, and especially for a game that's supposed to be NASA punk inspired, they had a land rover that they used on the first moon landing.
Yeah.
Like this is not technology that doesn't exist or like it doesn't exist in our world, right? No, like literally the first time they went to the moon, they used it. Okay, they had that technology to drive around. So I don't really understand why that's not in the game. There's even references to rovers in the game. Like, come on, you could have put a land rover that you drive around, because getting to some of these places, I feel like it's way too
Ridiculous.
long. Yeah, it's either way too long. There's not a lot of interesting stuff going on in between certain points of your mission. So it's like, why not just have a vehicle so I can get to it, right? Um, but yeah, I didn't like that part.
I don't. Yeah, it's traversal is very dated to being a Bethesda thing. Like, and I hate that. I
Right.
really do. Like, I'm with you. I wish that they would just incorporate land vehicles because my God, like the mission, I did a mission where I'm supposed to put this beacon on top of this tower, and I'm like, I could have gotten to this tower a lot faster had I had a vehicle to just
Hmm.
zoom there and zoom back. Like, you're taking me away from like playing the actual story, Todd. Where are the land
Right,
vehicles,
right.
Todd? Why are they not implemented in the game, Todd? Like,
Right, yeah, just to give us that option, because I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, but that,
it's an
exploration and blah blah
option.
blah."
It
But
is
yeah,
optional. We don't have to do it. Those that want to, though, would have the option to use them.
right, yeah,
We're not
yeah.
saying that
That's a,
you have to use them, but just to give us
the
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 choice.
the quality of life, the UI, all the small things, they're just not there. Because another one that was in Fallout 76 is area looting, right? So once you beat up a bunch of enemies in a certain area, you can loot the whole area, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going from one corpse to another. And I kind of wish that was in the game, right? Because then you could see, okay, what items am I picking up instead of just going into transfer and looking at the item. It, I'm telling you, this needs a patch for the quality of life. not to say the game is glitchy. I did run into some glitches that I did record,
Oh
but
yes, I did too. I took
yeah,
a photo of one on
but
my PC
they're
monitor.
not as bad. Like they happen in 20 hours. Like I only encountered maybe two, and really they're not game
And
breaking. They're
in
not
same
whatever. Yeah.
in same in 10 hours I only encountered the one so far.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
far.
only encountered two. So yeah.
So far, I haven't only encountered the one. Yeah, this
Yeah, I mean the game is still pretty polished, but I agree with what everybody else is saying. It still has that Bethesda jank to it that we're all familiar with.
and
That
like
it's like,
honestly, quite honestly, some people I agreeably so are sick of the Bethesda jank, but
yeah.
at first
It's
it was
not like a
cute, it was a
performance
meme.
or glitches. That's the thing, though.
So what?
It's not. It's not like when we're referring to Bethesda jank. It's not really just bugs and glitches, because I think that's been the perception. It's just bugs and glitches, and they try to focus on that. Where I feel like I think the criticism should have been, no, you need to focus on your UI. You need to focus on the quality of life, right? Because
Yeah.
we're at a point now where a lot of games share the same quality of life, right? And some of those features are missing from the game. So, that's the part that's annoying.
Right. It is annoying. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this game is not to some it will be a masterpiece for different reasons, but at the end of the day it is a Bethesda game. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get what you get. That's all I can say about that.
Right.
Yeah, I am looking forward to playing more of this game. I'm looking forward to being able to have time eventually to sit down and invest my time into this, because I'm not gonna just I'm gonna say this and hopefully not jinx myself. There are a few games next year that I am going to get and I am going to play, and it'll be a fun time had. However, I don't see that many as much as this year. This year has just been slammed with games that I'm like, yes, I have to play this. I want to play this. I want to play that. And then because of other life choices I made, like going back to school, my time immediately just went, yep, that's going over here. That's going over there. That's going over here. So next year I'll be able to play the rest of Starfield. The next summer I'll be able to play more Starfield. Until then, I'm just gonna, like I told you last night, like with how my time is, like I'm gonna be able to probably play about, if I'm lucky, an hour of Starfield a night. If I'm lucky, an hour of Starfield a night until other games come up, and there's one that comes up, in fact, next Tuesday. So Starfield's gonna be put on deep freeze starting next Tuesday, and I don't know when it's going to be unfrozen.
No, I feel you. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I got class tomorrow, so I'm still gonna try to find a way. Like when I come back, I'll probably put a three out. I tend to like, if I want to get through a game, I have to kind of put like 5 hours into a game every day, right? But I can't be able to do that now, so I'm aiming for like 3, and I have to like get everything else done before I start playing. That's why I was like considering buying like those streaming devices, because I want a big screen. I want to play this thing in bed or something, because that would be super convenient.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll see.
Oh, you can get the PlayStation.
I was honestly considering buying that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god! Even though we made fun of it.
Yeah, I mean,
bro, just get a what are those things called? The damn it!
I started to see the value in. I don't think it's gonna be popular, but
I can
see the value in it.
Like I've seen a lot of dads be like, "Hey, y'all are making fun of this thing. I don't get to game anymore because I have kids. So like me playing this in the bedroom before I go to bed every night is gonna like have me, is gonna give me some like peace of mind." And I'm like, "All right, fair." What it's like a backbone.
I'm like really not a backbone.
No, I'm saying
because my phone is way too small. It's not gonna work out.
You need that big screen quality.
I just need a big screen, and I just need it like I was telling you about the Logitech G. That's the one I'm like considering buying because then I might not have to get the PlayStation Portal because it there's an
PlayStation
app
Portable.
where Portal. It's called the Portal.
I thought no, they said it's PlayStation Portable.
No, Portal. It's called the Portal. You can check it. You can
All right,
check it.
well,
It's not the
PSP.
Portable. It's a weird. It's a weird name. The Portal. I'm like, okay, whatever. But
Sounds like I'm logging into work.
yeah, PlayStation Portal. Good lord. But I mean, like, I don't know. That one is cheaper than the Logitech here, which is weird. But it is proprietary. It only works with Sony. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
There's
The
one that
Switch
I want
has
to.
made things way too convenient. But,
When
yeah.
when we when we head off, I'm gonna look up something for you. It's there is this one made by the people that did my laptop, and I'll look it up for you when we get done here. But oh no, never mind. Here it is, right here. Boom. I'm gonna pull this up on screen when we get done.
Okay.
All right. Well, are there any? I think I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we can talk about or mention at all, or?
Well, I mean, we kind of went over the game in terms of non-spoilers, so
I mean, there is still some
yeah.
stuff we didn't talk about, but it's just there's just so much to talk about that.
I feel like eventually we're gonna have to, if we're gonna continue with the StarLogs, we're gonna have to do like a spoiler cast or
That's what I'm
something
saying.
where it's just yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like we may just make the future of these because it's like this is just the first impressions. Like what did we think of? What do we think of the game so far? One, like that's what
right,
this first one is. After that, though, it may turn into a spoiler discussion because by that point, the game will have been out for a while. If you've played it, you've played it. If you haven't, you haven't. Um,
right.
it's one of those things. But all right, folks. Yeah, I
But
think
I would
we're
still
gonna.
recommend the game
Oh,
if
absolutely.
we're gonna
I
end on that mode.
do
Yeah,
not listen to the critics. Try this for yourself. If you don't want to pay the full 70, which I completely understand, or in my case, full hundo,
yeah,
understand completely. Wait for a sale. There is still benefits to getting that 100, the deluxe edition. You get a couple of skins, and you get access to the DLC. But of course, if you want to just get the DLC, I'm pretty sure they'll just make that season pass pre-orderable, purchasable. Anyway, my point
hmm
is, play this game for yourself if you want to. If you want to wait for it to go on sale, I don't. I completely understand. I completely understand that. But yeah, do give it a try. This is a new IP, and I do think that it is going to be a series to look forward to seeing where it goes from this first entry.
right, yeah.
Right. So on that note, I want to thank, of course, Blinded for joining me for this. Again, RJ was supposed to join us. We hope he gets better. He should be around for the next video, or stream, whatever we do. But yeah, bro, where can the fine people who watch find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Threads and YouTube, Blinded Braille. So check that out. I don't post that often anymore, but I'll post from time to time.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting to where, like, because we're both back in school now, like it's taking up so much of our time because it's like this is the main priority, so like everything else just comes secondary.
right. Also, I just want to limit my social media use, so yeah.
And that's understandable. That's understandable. And of course, you can find me on Threads as well. Just look up friendly underscore neighborhood meta. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, just look up friendly neighborhood meta. I have I have a couple streams I've been doing right now. I'm still trying to stream Spider-Man Miles Morales on when we get closer to Spider-Man 2. And I did do a review for a game at the beginning of this year called A Space for the Unbound. If you want to check that out, I'm still proud of that video. That's still one of the best games I played all year, and it's actually slowly becoming my Gotti. Even though I'm playing Starfield right now, like that game started. Anyway, it's so good. Please check that out. And then of course, you can find me on X the brand formerly known as the social media formerly known as Twitter, by looking up what you see on the bottom of the screen at the most meta. And again, guys, we want to thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. Until, as I always say on my channel, relish the past, enjoy the present, and embrace the future. And until next time, folks, have a good night or have a good day. Stay safe. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everyone.
Peace.